Shalom. Give all credit to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi. And give a double honors to my apostles and elders, those of Greatmillstones, those teaching this truth and sincerity. Just back with another short video. Lord's will is edifying. And I'm just going to go into some precepts regarding these Moabites, which are the so-called Chinese. Now they're catching this heat. I've mentioned this a few times before. What their experience, them being looked at as the new niggas, basically. A lot of people, anyone, who doesn't have the eyes to see these things, they don't have the understanding. What you gotta understand is, real quick, I often talk about these curses in Deuteronomy chapter 28. If you read Deuteronomy 28:15, now if you know the history, when YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi given the laws to Moses, and Moses giving those laws to the children of Israel. So throughout the book of the whole book of Deuteronomy, it's regarding the children of Israel. So, in here in Deuteronomy chapter 28, it's told, verses 1 on down, it's told, you keep the laws and statutes of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi, you will basically be cursed. I'm sorry, you will basically be blessed and everything. And if you jump down to verse 15, let me just read it. It says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." And I'm just reading down a little bit. It says, "Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be." So if you go all from Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15, all the way down to the last verse, it talks about all the curses we would we would have to go through if we didn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi. And that's how you know who the so-called, that's how you know who the Israelites are today, by all of the curses that have been befallen upon us. And what I want to get out of here is the Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse, I'm gonna start at verse 36. Now this will be part of the curses that will befall us. Deuteronomy 28 verse 36, it says, "Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone." Verse 37, "And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whether Yahweh shall lead thee." So part of the curses that will befall us will be, being called different names. Throughout time we've been called niggas, savages, wetbacks, spicks. Like I mentioned, these Moabites, now they're starting to feel everything that we've been going through. If you jump up to all the way to verse Deuteronomy 28, and I'm sorry, it's not in this chapter. Deuteronomy chapter 30, because part of the blessings that will befall us would be our curses being reversed on the other nations. And I'm about to get that in Deuteronomy chapter 30 verse 7. It says, And Yahweh, thy power, will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So again, you know, what these Moabites are going through, those so-called Chinese people, what you see them going through, going back to this article, you know, it says Judy Chu says attacks on Asian Americans at about 100 per day due to coronavirus fear. Because supposedly that's where the whole, coronavirus started over there in China. So now people are looking at these so-called Chinese people as, like I said, the new niggas. Nobody wants to buy their food, their Chinese food. There's starting to be random attacks. So again, they're starting to feel the heat. Everything that we've been dealing with is starting to be reversed on them. So, real quick, if you go to, what is that? Psalms 83 and verse. Now, this chapter, 83rd Psalms, is talks about the enemies of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi, and basically an enemy to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi would be an enemy to us. So again, just you could read this whole chapter. It'll talk about. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at verse 1. Psalms 83 and 1. It says, "Keep not thou silence, O YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head." So again, if you go back to in Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter in verse 7, it tells you, all the curses that were put on us, it will be put on them that hate that hate us. Our curses will be put upon them. And again, right here in verse Psalms 83 and verse 2, this is King David telling Yahweh to because everything that, here's the thing, all the nations, they've had a hand in our downfall. So, it's going to come a point in time they're going to have to pay for what they did to the children of Israel. Again, all nations have had the so-called Arabs, the so-called East Indians, Chinese, Japanese. They have all had a hand, a stake in our downfall. So, the Lord's going to touch all these nations. All these nations are going to have to pay. So, reading on, it says, verse 3, "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones." So, they had these different UN meetings, and I believe, so when they hold these different meetings, I believe, if you're an Israelite, you're not even invited to these meetings, because again, they plot on ways to keep us down. And this is nothing new. This is something that they've always done. If you go to Exodus chapter 1 and verse I'm gonna start at verse 7. "And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly, and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them." This was during the time of before Moses. I'll say after Joseph, when Joseph passed away. It was a certain time period that the children of Israel were, multiplying. And this being in the land of Egypt, generations passed. So reading on, it says, "Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land." So again, this is this is one of many accounts where, the nations plotting against the children of Israel. They've always done this. I believe there's an account in the Maccabees, them plotting against the children of Israel. Going back to Psalms 83 and start at verse 4. They have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee." So again, this, and he's about to give a list of all the nations that partake in this. Reading on in verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom. So Esau is at the top of that list. And it says, and the Ishmaelites of Moab. And that's the point I wanted to get. These Moabites, they've had a hand, as well as all the other nations. They've all had a hand in bringing us down to a low state, the state that we're in now. That's why you have a Planned Parenthood in every corner of the hood. You got liquor stores in every corner of the hood. These are things that they plot. It says that in verse 3, it says they have taken crafty counsel. So, they're very, very skillful in how they deal with the children of Israel. So, going back to this article, someone would ask, well, would you feel bad? Like, shouldn't you feel bad for these Chinese people or so-called Chinese people? And my answer would be no. I have not a lick of sympathy for these dog-eating, octopus slurping. Like, I matter of fact, one scripture that pops into my head. Bam. Psalms chapter, was that 60? Because these people they're filthy, they're dirty. And in the kingdom, they're going to be subjected to the children of Israel. So do I feel bad for them? No, I don't. Psalms chapter 60 and verse 8, it says, Moab, which are the so-called Chinese people, is my wash pot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. So the Lord looks at these people as his wash pot. Something that you, something that wash filth off. Yeah. And like I said, these people they're filthy, they're dirty. What is this? Isaiah chapter 44. Because you think YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi has any sympathy towards these people? Well, let's see how he feels about them. Isaiah, or is it 40? I think it's 40. Yeah, it might be 40. Isaiah chapter 40. Isaiah, let's see how YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi feels about not just Moab, but all the other nations. Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 17. It says, all nations before him. Let me read that again. It says, all nations before him are as nothing. So picture nothing. Reading on, it says, and they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity. They're worthless. That word vanity, that goes into worthless, something that is of no value. So YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi, again, you think YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi feels any type of sympathy for these nations? YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi said not only are they counted nothing, they're counted less than nothing. So if you can picture that, if you can imagine that, well, one will argue, well, if God, quote unquote, didn't love everyone, if God feels this way towards, certain group of people, why would he create them? That's a good question. And here's the answer. Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 44. Because, again, everybody has a purpose. Everybody has their lot. Oh, wait. Leviticus, where's that at? Bear with me. So if YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi doesn't love everyone, why would he create them? Where's that at? Like I said, everybody has a purpose. Everyone has a lot. Leviticus 25 and 45. Let's see if that's what I wanted. Leviticus 25 and 45. Let's see, 45. Start at verse 41. Leviticus 25 and 41. And then shall he depart from thee, both he and his children with him, and shall return unto his own family, and unto the possession of his father shall he return. For they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondmen. Thou shalt not rule over them with rigor, but shalt fear thy power. Here's the point, verse 44. Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. So YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi told us not to, when it comes to our own people, we're not gonna have them as slaves. Whenever we have one of our own people subjected unto us, we got to deal with them according to the law. We got to deal with them according to, basically we can't treat them as we would the heathens. As I read verse 44 again, it says, both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids which thou shalt have shall be of the heathen. So the heathens, they were created to be slaves and servants. So that's why they were created in the first place. So, again, if YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi feels, if they're counted as less than nothing to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi, our goal, our objective, if you go to Matthew chapter 5 and verse 48, is to be like YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi. Matthew 5 and 48. It says, be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. So basically, whatever YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi feels, that's what we're supposed to feel. Whatever he thinks, that's how we're supposed to think. We're all supposed to be on one accord. So again, ask me if have any sympathy for these Moabites or Edomite or Hamite, any of these nations. Hell, I don't even care about these 2/3 of our own people. Because I always bring up the point, it's because of them we're still in this captivity. But just wanted to do this quick lesson regarding this topic. These so-called Chinese people, they're catching hell. They're being looked at as the new spit of the earth, the new niggas. So, Lord's will, this video was edifying. And until next time, I say shalom.